Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another ECM test and possibly a repair. This is coming from Florida, George Pogaxas from Florida. This is a 2004 BMW M3 with an E46. It's an E46 series. Sorry, with a S. Let me just see. I think I have the information in here, so I give you the correct information. I always try to do that, so there's no confusion. It's an S54 engine, 3.2 liters. All right, so I got pretty much, as I normally do, the information ready to go. I also want to show you that I have, well, let me move that camera because I've been moving it back and forth to other captures and it's now too far away. Okay, that looks a lot better. Maybe a little dark in here, right? I think the sun just changed a little bit, so let me get a little more light. Yep, that looks a lot better. All right, so as you can see, I have everything connected. I have powers and grounds, the ignition. I have the multimeter connected to check the firmware reference and also the oscilloscope to see the communication. This computer talks on the K line 7 and 9, also this side what BMW called TDX1 and TDX2. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So let me just read what he said. It says 2004 BMW. It has the complete VIN number in here. It was an SMG and it was converted to fully manual. BMW mechanic recommended you. He said not communicating with the DME. Car will not start. It has started having problems, and if we knock on the DME, it will run. Then later, stop again. My cell phone and all the stuff is in here. Thank you, George. All right, so I have everything, like I said, ready to go. I have even the scanner connected, so we don't waste that much time on that. But let me take you over to the screen. As I normally do, I try to gather all the data to show you how it's in the vehicle, right? So I have those folders open. I actually find out that it's all the color diagrams from Identifix or all that you can get the same from either one. They're actually very good. And we have, which I love to have, is this information. So all this data here, which it tells me, like in here, you know, we have ground, B plus, voltage supply. But what is that voltage supply? Well, it comes from, it's a terminal 87 actually, right? So if we see here, right here, it says terminal 87. Why? Because the computer will command this relay is called DME relay. And I have actually a test light connected to it to make sure that their problem is not because the computer is not actually actuating that relay and then it's not turning itself off or on, sorry. But it is actually working. So I've been doing some testing and I have the data and I want to share that with all of you. So I have marked pretty much everything that I need in here. So we have 3 grounds in the connector X601. So this has 5 connectors and they're actually nicely done from BMW because we have in here connector 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they have the numbers inside the same connector and all the pinouts are marked. So that is very nicely done by BMW. All right, so we have power on pin 7, constant power, and then terminal 87 on pin 8. That is all in connector, the number 1 connector. And the second connector, all I need to use for my tests is the DME relay control, which is we follow this wire. We can see that this is the relay, the control side. This when you see this is like a latch, like a switch. When this is control commanded on, it will latch that and then it will send power down to these fuses and it will power out the computer. But we can see the other side of that terminal, or that relay, sorry, is power side. So what is the computer doing? Providing a ground. Now on the next page, I have also marking here. Well, we have another ground. For me, all the grounds are actually shared internally on the computer, so I only have one ground connected. in the car will be more ground. Sorry, right here on the last connector, on the fifth connector. On the fourth connector, we have the communication on pin 32 that goes over to the DLC pin 7. And we can see that also we have pin 9 that comes on pin 17, and that is actually an RPM signal. I didn't read that, but that's what it says in here. I have both connected, and I'm going to show you what it says on the original wire diagrams. I also have in here powers and grounds in the fuel pump relay, just in case I need to check that. Sorry, not powers and grounds, sensor, 5-volt reference, and sensor ground. Two of them, they're actually shared inside, so I'm just going to connect, and I have the multimeter connected to show you that. All right, so that's, as you see, very simple. Now going over to the DLC, which I also have that diagram in here. I always like to confirm and reconfirm that what I'm doing, that's not what I want to do. Right here should be circle round. Yep, okay. So we have the same thing. Pin 32 goes over to the DLC 7, and then pin 9 goes over to, and it says in here again, RPM signal. We have a COM bus, but the COM high and COM low in here is for internal communication, not for diagnostics. So the way that the car talks, it will talk to the computer, and the computer will gather all the data for the rest of the modules, and then we'll transfer that over to the diagnostic bus, which is on this pin, right, on K line. Okay, going over to the OEM wire diagrams, which is a little different and I will say a little confusing too, if you're not familiar with this. Because if we see right here where we got the same pinouts, right, that we had before. Let me get that box so you can see what I am. So pin 7, this is the DLC right here. So the most important pins, 16, 1, 4, and 5, which are the ground. 16 is the power. In this case, pin 1 is also a power, and this is very unique on BMWs. But we have pin 7, 8, and 9. So if we see pin 7 here, it says it connects to X60 or connector 4 on the DME, which is the A6000, and pin 32, which is exactly how I have it. But it says DTX D2, and then we have DTX D1 on pin 8, and then we have FTD on pin 9. I also have these connectors, or these splices. We can follow the X183, which is on the next diagram. And this is where it's a little confusing to what you will need to use or not. So right here, we got the connector, or the splice X183. And if we follow this, let me make this a little bigger. So we are, how can I see the DME here? Yeah, right there. Okay, so if we follow this, we have the same X604, again, the 4 connector, pin 32, and this is for the gas engine. The other one that we cannot see here, well, now you can see, it's for the diesel, but it says that it's connected to the X183. Well, the X183 on the other diagram, again, if we go back, X183 is connected to pin 8, not to pin 7, right? So going back to here, if I follow this wire, which is the same communication, and we go up here, it's telling me that it is correct. It is on pin 8, and this connector X19527 is the DLC. Right here, we have the same number, X19527. That is the DLC connector. So that is a little inconclusive, right? So what is this? Why is one saying it's an 8 and the other one is in 7? Well, it is in 7, not an 8. And I already checked that multiple times. All right, so, but no communication with the module. What else I have here that I wanted to show you? Oh, well, since I'm here, you know, if you have any computers, instrument cluster that you need to send to repair, please look for Mike Salazar Diagnostics. That's how my name is spelled, M-A-I-C, and sounds as Mike, SalazarDiagnostics.com. And everything in here is pretty easy, self-explanatory. You got my address, my email, my telephone, a white box in here to click and download the repair form that that I need you to fill and add it to the box with the modules. If you want to email me, click on the black box. That's a clickable box that you can they'll open your email with my email. And also you have the chat. If you want just to have a conversation with me, you can use that one as well. Again, just a short update on that. All right, I'm going to probably get on to here as a little less crowded window. And we're going to put that one there. And that one, I might want to move that a little bit. So let me resize that so we don't get that whole window just for all the stuff we have in there. Let me resize this in here. I'm just making the window a little smaller on my end without affecting the view. I can actually change that now here. So that will be this one. And I'm going to make it probably go up at the top, right? Like that I can get some of that white box out. That we're not really looking at it. I think that looks pretty good, right? Okay, so now we have this kind of in the upper corner, less intrusive, less stuff in the way. All right, so I'm going to power up everything. I have this kind of connected and everything. So I'm going to put terminal 30. I want you to see here, you're going to see a light come on. That's the DME relay. So I'm going to power up. Again, this is just battery voltage, no change on the voltage on the multimeter. I'm going to turn the ignition on, and we can see the test light coming on. It's still no fiber reference because that should be immediately happening, but obviously I have to do it by my, with my hands. This is terminal 87. As soon as I turn terminal 87, we have 5 volts. So the computer is alive, it's good. All right, so now, let me see if I can make that a little bigger. It might cover a little bit of the computer. Not sure. I'm just thinking of where to put this because I want you. Yeah, the computer. I'm not really doing much on the computer, so I think that should be more important for you guys to see. So what I want you to see right now is that the scanner shows as fast no faults. So I can read fault codes. I'm actually, right now going, to start because I couldn't read the bin number. I have selected it manually, and you can see on hopefully you can read it. It says BMW 3 Series M3 S54 Coupe with a Series E46. So this is the correct car. So we're going to enter on the DME. And if I read the ECO information, I am able to read the information. See this computer, the scanner is actually talking to the computer. So yes, I got the oscilloscope connected, which is going to add another window in here, but yeah, that should be, not that one. Let me just, right here. Let me see, because I might have to, let me make sure I have the correct window, because I got so many windows. Yeah, we have the picoscope in there, so let me move. I know, guys, it's a lot, but believe me, it's important so you guys can see all this. I'm going to move the pico over to here. I'm going to move myself to the other corner, which, I'm not that big. So I can move that one here. You guys can still see me talking. And let me relocate or resize the picoscope in this corner. A lot of stuff going on, right? So I'm going to make this a little smaller so we don't lose that capture of the test light. All right, so that is now in there as a stop capture that I did before with the computer just connected, right? So right now we have that part number and everything. So I'm going to run the scope. So right now we're running the scope, and as you can see, there is nothing in there. But if I go over to the scanner, which I am now moving myself in here, I'm going to escape in there. I'm going to try to read fault codes. I want you to see that. So as soon as I get into read fault codes, we can see communication, right? So for a brief of a second, and you see the scanner says no trouble code. So I'm going to go out of here, and then go back to ECU information. And as soon as that happens, well, actually, it didn't establish any communication, only when I'm in trouble codes. Not even this time, so it has to be selected. But let me just show you. If I go over to like the data, and I try to go into status, you see the scanner is trying to communicate, it's talking, but there's no response from the computer. So their concern, your concern, and your mechanic is 100% correct. The problem is in the computer. We have no communication. So I can read full codes, but it's not really fully functional. But again, if I go into trouble codes, you see it right there. It didn't establish communication. If I get out of here, maybe. Again, all I'm trying to show you guys is, you see right there for a brief of a second, I'm going to go back to Pico and go back. You see, we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. So why? Because in that moment, the scanner was trying to collect data from the computer to see if it was any fault codes. And as you can see, it says pass no faults, which is impossible. We got nothing connected, right? It should give some fault codes, but it did respond. So this is, again, not a completely dead computer. We had fileable reference, and we have some communication, but not all the communication. So I'm hoping, because these computers are hard to get, and I hope that I can repair this for them, especially looking at the notes. It says it has a Dynan S3 upgrades. Not sure if they have a software upgrade or not on this computer, because these are beautiful cars. I mean, if you have one of these cars and you know what an M3 is, an M3 E46, if this is in good shape, these are, I mean, hunted cars. People is really looking forward to buy because they're beautiful. It's so much fun. I mean, anyone that has one loves it. But so I hope that I can help George and his mechanic and fix this situation. But I can definitely now reproduce the concern 100%. So yeah, partially good computer, no communication completely with it. So let's see what I can do, because as far as what they describe, let me turn all this out and let me take you over to the main screen. So as far as what they're described, which is very, very good information, like they used to knock on the computer and it will run, but then it will happen again. So what is that telling you? It's either you have a component that is heating up, and it might, when you heat it, change the state because it's partially loose or not making good contact, or maybe one of the multiple components that we have here. So what am I going to focus myself into here is going to look for cold or cracked solder joints, because this is most likely what is going to happen. And then hopefully we can correct the computer and get a good response and get it back to him or to them and have a happy customer. All right, guys, but thank you so much. This will be part 1. I need to definitely start working on the computer, try to find the problem, and then if I can correct it, contact the customer, give an estimate for the repair, get the approval, and then proceed with the repairs. All right, guys, but if you're here, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.